Archie Battersbee's parents submitted a last-minute application at 9 a.m. to the European Court of Human Rights to stop their son having his life support turned off today. It looks like they've now been given a little more time. We can only imagine what the family are going through there. And you understand from a parent's perspective, Janet, you want to keep every single avenue open. And it's the hope that you're clinging on to, but it's a very difficult situation for everyone.
It's very, very difficult. And so what's playing out is the stark, battle between parents who think they know best for their child and doctors who think they've got, all the medical knowledge to give the child the best opportunity they have to live. And in that situation, when it goes into court, a judge has to, consider what is it has to be the impartial observer and rule on what's in the child's best interest. And the British courts have ruled that that Archie has no real chance of a decent quality of life. I mean, from my own point of view, my nephew, my darling nephew, had a seizure and went into a coma, and I visited him, and I'll never forget, asking the doctor, is he going to come round? What's it going to be like? And he said, well, it's very unlikely. And his hand moved and his eyes flickered, and, that gave my brother-in-law hope that he was still alive, and I hoped. But, the truth of the matter is, in this situation, that Archie has suffered devastating damage to his brain stem. Now, what bothers me about all this is what's happening in the hospital, the impact on the other children in the hospital, the nursing staff. Is everything now revolving around this? I mean, we saw it before with little Archie Gard and his parents battling to save him at Great Ormond Street Hospital. And it's very, very tricky for the nursing staff in this situation. I mean, everybody with a brain would want this child to live. Of course you do. But the notion of considering moving him to Turkey or Japan, I mean, the logistics of it.
I think the problem is, though, is that when it's your child, you don't care about the logistics. You'll just do whatever it takes, and you want every last bit of hope. And, subconsciously they might even be thinking, because they'll have been told that those squeezing of the hand and the eye flicking will be muscle spasms. And all. But in your heart, you just go, no, I'm scared in case it's him trying to live and I'm not helping him have the chance. So from a parent's point of view, I totally understand why they are being like this, and I think I would be the same, but then the logic side of me, and someone who's not emotionally involved, understands what you're saying as well, that logistically it's not possible, and it's not a good outcome either way, because he wouldn't be well enough to go to those countries. How are they going to get him there to survive even the journey,
Yeah.
And the money side of it and all of those things. But I do understand from the parents, so you'd just be doing everything. I know I would.
But doesn't social media make this much more of a intense fight? I mean, we didn't used to have these battles 20 years ago. When a child was in this situation in hospital, parents, we very rarely heard about these kind of battles. But now you can use social media to, further your, to broadcast your anguish, to plead for supporters, to plead for cash. And in the end, you have to come back to what's best for the child.
Yeah, I mean, exactly what you two have said, really. I just think if I was his mum, I would probably be doing exactly the same thing. I get it completely, but catastrophic brain damage. It's not like being in a vegetative state. People have come out of vegetative states. He needs machines to keep him alive. And really, basically, it's just keeping the heart going and the lungs going, but they're saying there's no activity at all in the brain. So tough.
Yeah.
But, ultimately, I don't see what point there is of moving him.
I know, because Holly, his mum had previously been told that the family couldn't move Archie to a hospice by Bart's Health NHS Trust. That I think the movement of and the upkeep and everything else was a difficult shift.
And I do feel so sorry for the medical.
I was just going to say
first thing is what, do no harm. And every time you go into a hospital, they fight to save lives.
Yeah.
And if they are saying, we cannot save this
Please
boy.
not
Yeah,
blame
very
them.
difficult. No, no, not at all. And then, but equally so, like you say,
Yeah.
if you're mum or dad, you want to fight
Yeah.
every single moment, don't you? Thinking of everyone involved in that, it's an awful situation for everyone.